Alexander arrives in a place of such mystery, all the rules have changed. He is confronted by a powerful Raja who is determined to stop him. The Indians have amassed an army of 50,000 men, and they have a terrifying new weapon, 200 war elephants. At 9 feet high and weighing up to 5 tons, elephants were the battle tanks of ancient warfare. They could charge their enemy and trample them underfoot. Alexander quickly realizes he cannot risk a head-on attack against such a massive force.
He has this ability to plan and size up distribution and space, to always maintain an element of deception about his own intentions, move to the right when he's actually going to cut to the left, feint a sham crossing of the river in India, and then cross at a point where they're not expecting.
With this surprise attack, Alexander's men used their long spears to rile the elephants.
In the middle were the elephants being enraged by the spears and the arrows that were piercing their hides. Now, in that situation, the elephants, frenzied with fear and pain, turned on the Indians as much as they turned on the Greeks.
After one of the toughest battles of Alexander's career, the Indian army is wiped out and the Raja surrenders. But in a surprising move, Alexander is so impressed by his bravery, he gives the Raja back his kingdom. The legend of Alexander is now firmly rooted in Indian soil.
Alexander the Great lives on in India in many different ways. Indians view Alexander as this great heroic character who pervades their entire sense of history. Now you see Alexander's legacies kind of come through in pretty much everything that India has done. It's very much evident in Indian literature, in Indian sculpture and paintings. So even today you go to northwest India and you'll see Indian gods striking Grecian poses, because these were, the sculptors were influenced by Greek art.
Alexander was making his mark on India. But despite his great victory, the long years of fighting have taken their toll on his army. To make matters worse, the monsoon rains relentlessly set in.
Would be psychologically terrible for the men from Macedonia, because they had never known anything like it.
After 8 years and 17,000 miles, the troops reach breaking point and refuse to go any farther. Alexander has lost his first battle against his own men. He has no choice but to turn back.
But just think of it, here he was going to be, before he was 30, standing, he believed, at the point where the world ran out into a vast great sea of water. And he was going to stand and look out, and he was going to sacrifice to the gods that his divine father had told him to sacrifice to. And he was going to think, back in your hole, Philip, you never got so far. Oh, come on, you know. It's egocentric, but what a name, what a name, and they'd gone and denied it. Wimps.
Alexander takes the long way back to Persia, leading his troops on yet another epic march, this time through the barren wasteland of a desert, one of the driest places on earth. Why Alexander came this way is a mystery. Perhaps it was to punish his men for not following him to the ends of the earth.
The terrain changed dramatically from hard-baked ground where nothing grew to a shifting desert sand which buried his army up to their waist and above.
Thousands die from sunstroke, thirst, and exhaustion. Less than a third of Alexander's army survive.
He thought that he could conquer anything. So far, he had conquered everything in his path. And he thought he could handle it. And he was wrong.
And while it is the worst disaster of the entire campaign, it's still a marvel that they crossed at all.
They never really quite knew towards the end what Alexander would do next. His actions and his policies were unfathomable. He was unpredictable and threatening to them in that sense.
Alexander marches on to the Persian city of Susa, where he has another surprise in store for